and welcome to Hollywood Uncensored. And wow, not a virgin among the group, and that's doubly true, of course, for Lisa Ann and Rosa. For the first time ever, every single one of our great guests has graced the panel before, so they know the deal. No scripts, no pre-interviews, just their truth about some of the hottest topics in show business and a lot more, tons to get to today. For first, say hello to the always witty and wise, Hal Sparks.
I'm doing a Fat Albert in the Gang.
Very good.
Signal.
The lovely Rosa Blasi.
Hello.
The charming Paul Rodriguez. And the delightful Lisa Ann Walter. Now that all that flattery's out of the way, let's get to it. This movie made an absolute fortune.
I can't even tell you what we've been through because we made a pact. What I can tell you is this. This is not Stu's first marriage. There was a whore in Las Vegas a couple of years ago.
Time's up, sit down.
All right, it was Shekels mania for theater owners and studio types as Hangover 2 broke every kind of record imaginable. Reviews tepid, but the cinema score, what filmgoers said leaving theaters, was good. All great, right? Well, maybe not. The New York Times has a huge essay in their prestigious Sunday magazine saying Hangover 2 is more like hardcore torture porn and has ushered in an era of laughless comedies. What's missing? Jokes. Characters actually saying funny things. Instead of the requisite joke about genitalia, now in The Hangover 2, we're just seeing a lot of genitalia. How, Sparks, are these mega profitable comedies, I don't know.
Speaking of genitalia. Mega genitalia, absolutely.
Are they funny or not funny?
If you like it, you like it. I do think there's a tendency, you know, to make a sequel this quickly, comedically. You're just revisiting the same jokes, essentially, and you don't really have anywhere to go but farther down the same road. And so you're just, you spent your ammo on the trees a long time ago.
I thought this was such an interesting sort of like critical comment that if you graphed the plot points for Hangover 1, they do this, they do this, they do this.
Yeah.
And you did Hangover 2, they do this, they do this, they do this. That they're absolutely identical.
Which you used to do, by the way, a classic like serial that they used to put together. That was the point, was because you didn't have VHS, you didn't have cable, you never got to see that movie again. So when they made a road movie with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, it was the exact same movie because
where's
you've never...
the spitting camel scene?
You'll never get to see it again.
Nobody was more surprised that this movie was a hit than the writer of the movie. And he didn't have a clue he was going to do a second one. I call this peer pressure laughter, you know, because everybody says it's good and everybody laughs. You know, you see it in a room, it's almost like you have to look around to see, should I laugh? It wasn't spontaneous, I don't think.
Well, and then they have to amp it up. I mean, if you have the gross out scene, you have to have the super gross out scene and the lady boy scene that makes, you know, most guys not just go, oh, dude, I can't believe he did that, but like, that's a little too homoerotic. My boyfriend went with his dude friends, and I mean, they're dudes. They're like up there for a motorcycle rally in Northern California, and he said his advice was get drunk before you see it, because there aren't a lot of surprises or belly laughs.
Well, I mean, how much more surprises? You mentioned it being, likening it to porn. I mean, in Hall Pass, there was a scene near Owen Wilson's head where you saw a very endowed African-American and a teeny-weeny thumb dick on a redhead man.
Yeah.
And it's like, they showed it. It's like, how much, what's gonna happen in, you know, 5-10 years in movies? I mean, do we go inside, 3D, 3D vagina?
Well, they did that. They did that in Judd Apatow's movie, When a Baby Was Born, which is the thing that really
But that wasn't shot in 3D, Lisa.
Well, that's coming next.
No pun intended. But the I think basically once you saw a monkey in the poster, all bets were off.
Right.
I mean, like what do we got? I got nothing.
Is the
monkey.
Is the monkey from Friends available? Is the monkey from Friends?
This has been happening with increasing sort of allowance ever since they started this whole slew of bromances, which I remember when Wedding Crashers came out, your agent standing in front of the Laugh Factory was just over the moon. They never do movies where it's guys who get along and they love each other. And I'm like, really?
Here they come.
Never?
Yeah, right.
They never do that?
Well,
that's all they do. There's guys feeling up a girl for the first time, and then we get drunk, and then we go to Vegas, and then we eat cereal.
There was a very special movie about having intercourse with a pie, Lisa. I don't know what you're talking about.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, had a lot of warmth.
But they're saying that Judd Apatow and Todd Phillips, the director of Hangover 2, are the real perpetrators of this because they invented the bromance movie And they're jokeless movies.
Well,
and there's not much room for gals in them, really.
But there are room for
yes,
gals.
there are. There's a whole montage scene for nipples. I tried out.
But that's it. But that's it.
For example,
they're not characters. They're character traits with tits.
Well, see,
they're only the mean girl or the hooker with a heart of gold.
The clip that you showed, I think we've seen this before in a commercial.
Yeah.
You know, that very scene where the person says something embarrassing, you know.
Specifically so.
Yeah.
At a wedding.
I think the dramatic version of that was in the movie Bad Influence with James Spader and Rob Lowe. That's, I mean, almost the exact same scene, just done for...
You don't have to go that far. In Todd Phillips' movie Old School, they did exactly that with almost the same actors.
So when he rips...
Those were really awful women in that movie. That was just like a parade of women that were just horrifying.
when he rips himself off... But to great success.
Right. Well, for a time. I mean, there's a law of reciprocal return in that. You know, you can only go to the well so many times.
No, so I think these guys
and that's, I think, what you're seeing.
These guys are getting paid for the first movie.
Yeah. But then do you have Hangover 3 the morning after?
You could guarantee. That was going to be my prediction.
That was, by the way, this is Hangover 3. Hangover 2 was Bridesmaids. Hangover.
Well, we'll talk about all that when we jump back here. One Hangover 2 star is going to get even richer. But does Bradley Cooper really have what it takes to stay on top? Plus later, one political commentator isn't commenting for a week after calling another commentator a nasty name. We're just getting started here on Hollywood Uncensored. It's on Reel's channel, TV about movies. We're jumping the gun, but we're going to get to that. Hey, we're glad you're with us. If you want to join in the conversation, you can text in my name. It's Sam at 515151. And Hal Sparks co-headlines the Sexy Liberals Tour with Stephanie Miller. Look for the pair in Minneapolis, June 18th, Chicago, June the 25th. We talked about Hangover 2, which may or may not be good news for the folks who make movie comedies, but is sure good news for leading man Bradley Cooper. The last time I talked with Bradley, very, very candid about how much money he got to be paid in Hangover 2 and what he did with the dough. Even with all those agents and commissions taken out of it, I still think it's a pretty good figure. What did you buy?
A house.
Good for you. Right. He bought a house with the $7 million he got for Hangover 2. But some gals say Bradley won't sustain as a leading man. One famous lady told me he's the one you avoid at the bar, not the one you go home with. Ooh. Rosa, would you go home with Bradley Cooper?
Only because he's never played a pro sport. But that's an entirely different conversation, and now you're giving me triggers.
Yeah, that bumps me out of the restaurant as well.
No, I wouldn't in real life, but he does give that bad boy. He's bad boy. That's what he smells like, and so for me, because I have horrible taste in men, yes. But I know what you're saying.
And then she would call me, and I would tell her, "What did you expect? You went home with Bradley Cooper."
Yes.
But doesn't have anything to do with, to me, it's not bad boy. There are guys that are a lot worse boys, and it's not that he's so good looking, because, that's really hurt George Clooney's career. Yeah. It's that he's the guy that even if he's cute and everything, that all you can picture him doing is talking with his bros about how he jackhammered sexed you all night, and then there was farting. That, like, he's talking about your butt.
He's more of a DB Cooper.
I did say farting. He's the guy that's laughing at how you look with his guys afterwards. He's arrogant. That's what it is. It's not that he's.
So it's hard for us to predict, but can he sustain a big career?
I think
as long as he surrounds himself with less attractive men, it'll work out.
I think Bradley is a funny guy and actually has talent as an actor. There's no question about that. Because like you look at movies like Yes Man or whatever, he was actually genuinely charming and connected more than almost anybody in that film. The question is, look at the record right now, and it might be that his people are trying to shoehorn him into the wrong thing, and that's something they always do. It's like, oh, they kind of like him. He was in a movie that was a hit. Let's make him a star right now. And the movie he did with De Niro about the smart drug. Right. Well, I forget.
Limitless.
Limitless. Came and went, and had all the potential, had all the markings of being a movie that should have made it. And I think it was torpedoed by a Liam Neeson film, which is kind of amazing if you're looking at what drives people to the theaters. Secondly, A-Team. They really did sell the entire movie A-Team on his back. And that's unfortunate, not his responsibility. That was a craptastic idea to do that movie anyways. That was his reps making a mistake, I think.
But when you set him up, I mean, the first movie we all saw him in was Wedding Crashers, and he played that snarky, arrogant, smug, entitled jerk with the sweater tied around his neck. And then you see him in the movie Hangover is where most people saw him again, and it's a similar character. I mean, you don't know that he's got a wife and a kid at home, and if you did, it doesn't matter because he's still playing single, jerky, arrogant guy, and that's what we think of him
When we
as.
talked about, and I think this was a good example, this is during the commercial break, somebody brought up Seth Rogen and this idea like, he's the guy. And then he's in 20 movies, and I don't think now you're going to see him in 20 movies.
And the same thing happened to Jack Black. And there are people that have really great comedy skills and abilities, and they're supposed to be the second lead. They're not supposed to be the anchor of the movie.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
As we jump back here, no confusion, the highbrow world of political commentary on cable TV. When is a talk slut not really a talk slut? We'll discuss
when
words and their consequences.
Exactly. My nickname in high school.
Oddly enough. Just when you thought the 2.5 Men feud was over, it isn't. Nor are we. Hollywood Uncensored continues here. We're back in a minute. Oh, we are back. Rosie Blaza is a fine and funny book, Chalkish. The Misadventures of a Retired Jersey Chaser is in bookstores now. And to the world of politics, and Laura Ingraham is a blonde radio and TV political commentator and talk show host. Is she a talk radio slut?
Oh my goodness.
Such the suggestion of the political commentator and talk show host, Ed Schultz.
President Obama is going to be visiting Joplin, Missouri on Sunday. But you know what they're talking about? Like this right-wing slut, what's her name, Laura Ingraham? Yeah, she's a talk slut.
Okay, and then guess what? Ed Schultz apologized for that remark.
On my radio show yesterday, I used vile and inappropriate language when talking about talk show host Laura Ingraham. I am deeply sorry, and I apologize. It was wrong, uncalled for, and I recognize the severity of what I said.
All right, this has led one critic to call our modern-day political commentary, quote, insane. Hal, you do modern-day political commentary.
It's true.
Some say it's part of a relentless drive by corporate America to disconnect the population from anything vaguely serious. Is this a much ado about nothing?
I think the point he was making was that she'll chase the point on the right wing no matter what. There's this sort of Obama derangement syndrome that goes around with that crowd, with the Laura Ingraham crowd. And I think basically what he was saying was, even if he does something she agrees with, she'll just say it anyway. She'll just side with her right-wing cronies that way, and he used cheap language to express that point.
I disagree. I think a lot of sluts complained that she was being compared like that.
All the sluts I know were fine with it.
And they get spreads in Vanity Fair. We're talking about Tiger Woods,
and
right?
technically, she would be a whore because she gets paid to do it.
Nice.
Sluts do it for free.
But why is it okay? And listen, nothing surprises me anymore after the last presidential election when you watch what some of the wonks and pundits got away with that was so screamingly misogynistic against Hillary Clinton, where if it was done as in a racial way against Obama, it would have not been tolerated for a second. They called her a shrew. They said she looked like everybody's first wife standing outside a probate court. They said that she was a witch. They said that she was a pimp for her daughter. Nobody said a word. Nobody had a problem with it. But if you did it as a racial thing, it would have been a problem.
Insofar as Hillary, the same thing. Fast forward a couple of years, a year later or whatever, and Sarah Palin comes in, and there's an attractiveness factor where the right wing comes to protect her, and it becomes almost a class structure of older woman versus younger hot model, this kind of thing.
They always shot Sarah from the back too. Did you ever notice that?
Oh,
They gave her the pantsuit.
Well, that's because you couldn't. That's so you couldn't see where John McCain's eyes were.
Or
shot back behind
her
the scenes.
mouth. And she's almost like a politician, so there is a corollary.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about the real issue here, which is when is somebody going to have a YouTube compilation CD of the apologies? These heartfelt.
Didn't that apology come right after, weirdly, he got released from his job for a week?
Well, or he volunteered.
He volunteered. He took a week off. He said he went on his own.
To go to
P.S.
rehab.
For the record, they often pair Ed Schultz with Rush Limbaugh in that they're both chubby and blustery.
Right.
And sort of equivalent left to right.
Subtle.
You will never see Rush Limbaugh. He will say 10 times the equivalent statements weekly never take a week off, never apologize.
I did the Miss America contest. He looks
to give
good.
credit where credit is due, not saying it was wrong, apologizing is the right thing to do. Taking a week off from your work is a way of putting your money where your mouth is. You will never see Rush Limbaugh do that.
On the other hand,
ever.
if I tee off on one of these guys and call them a douchebag or a hole, I'm gonna not apologize at all.
Hey, when we return here, the 2.5 Men feud is now extended to the Emmys. Why is this particular fight so mean-spirited? And speaking of spirits, crystal ball just ahead. I see a big future for one of the biggest bridesmaids. We'll explain all of it when we return here on Reel's Channel. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Hollywood Uncensored. Paul Rodriguez would be pleased if you would pick up his new comedy special, Comedy Rehab, available on DVD now. Check out Paul live at the Riviera in Las Vegas at the end of June. We know there is no love lost between Charlie Sheen and the producers of 2.5 Men, but you'll love this if you're a fan of mean, ongoing feuds. Producers of 2.5 Men, and obviously not there are here, have decided to launch Emmy campaigns for John Cryer, for Angus T. Jones, for Holland Taylor, for everybody who works on the show. But for Charlie, what's more, there will be no episodes submitted for the series to possibly be voted Best Comedy because, of course, Charlie would be part of that cast. So what gives? Why try to get Emmys for everyone except the guy who may well have brought you to the Emmys? Lisa Ann Walter, how pissy are these people and how long will they keep fighting?
I mean, the answer is you do not piss off Les Moonves. Ever. Ever. You just don't piss him, Chuck Lorre, you don't do it. I don't know that that the feud's gonna last forever. They're gonna watch him kind of melt away and hopefully get help in a minute. But it's kind of silly. I mean, it's like, yeah.
No, it seems very nah to me.
You said the guy who brought him to the Emmys. Let's look at Chuck Lorre's track record. Sybil, Darmaine Greg, Big Bang Theory, Now Mike and Molly. It's not all starring Charlie Sheen. I'm going to put the eggs in the Chuck Lorre basket. Yeah. He's
Somebody
the guy
needs
who brought
a job from Chuck Lorre.
Shut up!
I will say, there is no sense whatsoever to tee up Charlie for an Emmy he might actually get if you have to deal with the fact that you've shed him from the show, you're trying to rebuild it, and there's no impetus. There is no way it makes sense.
I look for him to personally protest outside and be a bigger story.
Or how about submit himself? Can't you submit yourself and pay for your own campaign?
You can, but
look,
they're never going to do it.
Didn't they just recently have some crazed fan like threaten to bomb?
WPIX in New York, they were going to
right.
They were going to
which I was just there last week.
That wasn't a crazed fan. That was a goddess, Lisa. A goddess.
You know what? All I'm saying is, if you're a goddess, you need better extensions. That guy made $2 million an episode. Those goddesses should have real hair from Sweden. They look like they rode the bus in from Pacoima.
That's part of the appeal. You know nothing about what turns a man on.
I don't know sluts. I don't know sluts.
But do you find that feuds never go, like if I'm mad at somebody, I'll be honest, I forget the next day.
The old saying is everybody remembers where they buried the hatchet, so
the sharks remember what happened with the Jets.
So basically, it's that, and I'm old school like that because my people are Sicilian. So you will hug somebody at the Academy Awards and make up if you know they've got pictures of you with farm animals. Like if they've got more on you and you have more to gain,
or more to benefit from, or you've got more to benefit from being friends with them. I mean, that's a large part, and it's not this industry. This industry takes a lot of heat for being that kind of stab you in the back while glad handing.
Right.
Yeah, like stockbrokers aren't that way.
Right.
Like, like the people who are regulating the oil companies in Denver weren't, doing meth off toasters and sleeping with each other. At the same time, they were regulating.
Why toasters, Hal?
I don't know. I don't know why.
It's not the show that's important. It's the biz that's important.
Right.
And when you start messing with, Eric Tannenbaum and Chuck Lorre and
I don't think anybody should piss off anyone or you become
crazy Sean Young.
Yes,
I think there's a lot of lessons that have been learned over the years from like 6 or 7 people who could have had long chugging careers, burned their bridges too hard.
What TV star may become a breakthrough movie star and not because of her bodily functions? We'll explain here when we come right back. Guests of Hollywood Uncensored go gold class. It is the first-class way to see a movie and offers the ultimate escape for movie lovers, from the amazing lounge area to the plush micro suede recliners to the best food and beverages and service anywhere. Check it all out at goldclasscinemas.com. Oh, welcome back. Here, Lisa Ann Walter has Oh Nothing, a 4-star rating from People magazine on her new book. The best thing about my ass is that it's behind me. Lisa Ann now gives great oral. Hear her weekends on the powerhouse KFI AM 640 radio here in Los Angeles. Did you like that? I thought you would. Crystal ball time. Our most strangely accurate predictions. Here's the criteria. Something our panel knows that sometime in the future it will actually come true. Here's Housemarks.
Goodbye 3D TV within the next 6 years. Holographic TV, like literally 3D. It'll display in the middle of your table. They downloaded 23 terabytes of information in less than 10 seconds last week. Using standard fiber optic cable in a new system. All you know about TV and programming and bandwidth goes away within a year.
All right, Rosa.
That's terrifying because of my next prediction, which is there will be an actor's strike and having nothing to do with payment, everything to do with HD TV. The only thing that should be in HD are animals, and that includes athletes. That's it.
Just hold this back just a little
See,
bit.
it's the only thing that should be in HD TV is animals and athletes.
That's ridiculous.
Here's Paul Rodriguez. I think you're holding up.
I predict basically Oprah's channel will splice into two.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What will they be?
There'll be two Oprahs. It'll be two O's.
It'll be Oprah.
We can't get enough of her.
There we go. Here's Lisa Ann Walter.
I like his multiple O prediction. That was a good one.
What, Lady
I
Wood?
predict that Rosa and I will have a TV show this year.
Yes. I agree.
I don't just predict it, I'm going to executive produce it.
Oh!
And I'll be the.
But Apto's gonna write it.
I'm sorry, I'm
we'll
busy
be
with
the
Chuck
poorly
Lorre.
written male characters.
Yeah.
We'll be
Chuck
the poorly
Lorre's
written
gonna
male
run it.
characters for once.
That's
As
right.
for me, Melissa McCarthy has toiled in TV for a long time. Gilmore Girls and I, Mike and Molly.
That's not
but
fair.
the
You got
breakout
inside
work.
information.
What?
That's not fair. You got inside information.
I do. The breakout work in Bridesmaids now has more studios saying she should do more work on the big screen. It isn't because of her ability to bleach or pass gas, but rather because of one incredibly tender scene in the movie where she tries to sort of rouse co-star Kristen Wiig to get her act together. It's that scene that could possibly carry Melissa, I said it, to the Academy Awards. What a great panel. Thank you guys for coming. Did you like the little
my
goosebumps?
Lanta.
Did you enjoy that? Thank you guys so much. I'm Sam Rubin. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time here on Hollywood Uncensored. Oh, and the applause.